Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have TJ Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. TJ Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 five-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of TJ Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because TJ Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
Oh, that was dope. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to King Talk. JR is otherwise indisposed. The man works a lot, so things happen. So you got second best. Sorry about this. You got Trigger Mike, but hey, it is my birthday. So do me a solid and don't give me any shit tonight simply because it's my birthday. So I appreciate everybody for coming through to the show tonight. How y'all fellas doing?
Happy Mimp Day.
Yeah.
Excellent. Happy
Happy birthday,
Mike.
Mike.
I just said, bro.
Birthday,
I just
Mike.
said don't give me those shit.
Happy
You
birthday.
know what? No. Forget it. If y'all don't know, Marcus has a nickname for me. That's literally the worst nickname you could give a man when you break it down in detail. We all know what simp means, right? So I call if Daryl Long is the simp god, then I guess Marcus is the simp demigod. That's what I like to call him. This dude went around and named me a mimp. It's basically the male version of a simp. So even though a simp is trying to get women on his side, this dude said, I do the same thing for the dudes. Like I be trying to suck dudes off or something. I was like, he don't even know how.
Whoa.
That's funny, ain't it?
Pause.
Wait.
Man.
Think
about it. Whatever a simp is trying to do, he said, I've been trying to do that for the men. I'm like, oh, okay. Super pause. But anyway, thank y'all for coming through. All right, we're gonna have a good one tonight. But who we got in the building, man? We got Trev Smooth, Hink the Basement, the Simp Demigod, Marcus White, B Madden 59. Our man Shannon Raw is gonna come through. When he come through, you know, OGs do what they do, and my man Luis. Man, when I say Luis got that Beijing pop. Like when you gotta hit the woo, that razor
ready. Crispy.
that razor fresh. But anyway, I'm your host, Trigger Mike. We're gonna have a good King Talk tonight. Yeah, man, what's going on in the world? It's election day. So anybody got any crazy news? Anybody won that wasn't supposed to win? Trump stir up any trouble? What's going on?
I gotta look at that. I didn't look.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm doing an edit today, so I'm like out of the loop. It's crazy. Right after work, I just jumped in, so it's one of them days. I gotta check that out though.
Well, I know Trump didn't help my man Daniel Cameron here in Kentucky. So
he lost.
Yeah, he lost.
Oh, okay. Damn, that still don't like. See, I'm waiting for that time. To be honest, I've watched Daniel Cameron for throughout his campaign. I'm waiting for that time of the black conservative wave, because that's when I'm going to jump into the political game. God, because you know, right now they're going to be like, "You Uncle Tom, you niggas." They're not going to be like, "God damn."
You gonna jump in head first, Mike? You gonna jump in head first, Mike?
Hell yeah.
What's your number one agenda?
Come on, Trev. But no, I'm not even.
It's 2A.
Other than
It's
guns.
2A.
Okay,
It's
other
2A.
than guns. It's actually the black family. It's actually the black family. That's my number one agenda.
How about that?
Now, that's going to be a hidden agenda. But what it is, so I'm going to do that through
we live.
child support. Exactly. I'm going to do that through child support, and I'm going to do it through, I don't want to say equality rights. Like I'm going to obliterate all of the entitlements that they have that basically create room for feminism to spread its wings and tore apart the black family in general. I'm coming for all that shit.
So what you gonna do with child support? You gonna abolish it or what?
And not even child support. So you know it's going through the motions now of being ruled unconstitutional. But I'm sorry, not even just child support, child custody. So I'm going to try to mandate joint legal custody automatically. 10-year minimum sentence if you get caught lying, trying to slander the other parent in an attempt to get sole custody. Doing shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So joint legal custody means for the first 9 years of the kid's life, the mother is going to have them. Of course, you get visitation and all that as outlined in a joint custody agreement, but the mother has sole physical custody of the child, and on his 9th birthday, she has to turn over the baby to the father and pay child support to him until the kid turns 18. Oh yeah.
They not ready for that.
I got my written out.
Not ready for that, Mike.
Yeah, we'll see. You'll see legislation.
Rabbit ain't got the gun, is it, Mike?
Say again.
Yeah,
we talked about that on my show once. It's like, how many women do you think gonna default on their child support payments when they realize they gotta pay? Well, they're gonna be going to jail left and right.
I was gonna say, because that's what they do to us if we miss the child support. Take your license, your passport.
Yep. That type of legislation is not even meant to actually work. What it's meant to do is to stop all the bullshit from happening. Like you know they're not going for that. They're gonna be what? Yeah. It's really just to stop all the bullshit because they don't want those type of responsibilities. And the worst part about it is that I think that once we take away the ability for women to use children as a stronghold on men, they won't even want their own kids no more. Some of them gonna be like,
"Hey, Mike,
I can't."
It's funny you said that, man. I got a story for you real fast. I remember, man, for the first 5 years of my daughter being born, I didn't see a goddamn tax return. I didn't get a goddamn tax rate for 5 years. They took my money because I was behind.
Oh yeah, if you in rears, it's over.
Oh yeah.
When the child comes out, she was getting government assistance, so I had to pay half of the hospital bill, and then whatever services she was getting, I had to pay all of that back. So I came out $10,000 in the hole already before we even went and settled and decided on what my payment was going to be and everything. So for 45 years, I didn't see a tax return at all, and I didn't know how that when I finally got one. I'm like, what is this?
Wow.
So where does money come from? He's like, where does money come from?
And now I'm paying.
He went up that year. He's like, oh,
5 years I was getting some, but I didn't get it. Now I'm paying. I can't win for losing.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, we're gonna get the first topic of tonight. It's an oldie but goodie. Y'all might have seen this before. I didn't panel check to see if y'all might have went over this year last week, but you're gonna go over it again because I had to create these topics. But this is a good one. This is one I saw pop back up, and it's one of my favorite clips by Kevin Samuels. And the reason I like to rehash this is because it's one of those things when women hear it that is very triggering to them, but everybody needs to have a deeper understanding of what this means, especially married people and people trying to get into committed relationships. So the topic is let men use you. So naturally, like I said, they're going to be triggered like, what? What are you talking about? But stay tuned for the video. We're going to chop it up right after.
Use you. Ladies, women who win allow men to use them. You know they're going to lose their mind on that one. What do you mean they allow men to use? Yes, we can use you. Feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. We should be able to use you. You are a helpmeet after all. And here's the thing. This is why I tell men in general, black men in particular, don't believe this crap about partners. Women today want you to be able to pay the bills because they feel like if you can't pay their bills, you can't tell them what to do. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to pay some bills, you need to be using her. She needs to be a feminine asset, a feminine tool. You should be able to use everything about this woman to your benefit and to her benefit. You should be able to use her network, her education, her income, anything that she possesses should be yours to use and direct for the betterment of the family. And this is the problem. Women today don't want to be used.
A word. All right. Be mad. We're going to start with you. Let men use you. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get going. I have to completely agree with The Godfather because at the end of the day, you're really looking at, it goes back to that old story or the old question of what do you bring to the table? Okay. And essentially, a lot of women like to say, hey, I bring my degrees, I bring, my beauty, my body, my womb, all these things that they've accomplished or that they just possess. Well, let him use you then. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're bringing to the table. Your network, you being a feminine asset, all the people that you know. You say you're in a sorority or whatever. Let's tap into that network. What's going to help us as a family, baby? What's going to help us as a unit? How are we gonna, get a leg up? So and so that's a, the CEO of this company. So and so that is a producer here or there. That can help us with opportunities and move forward financially in this life. Somebody that's a banker or whatever, we got to get a new house soon. So, if she's using you effectively when it comes to getting her bills paid, when it comes to having protection, when it comes to being covered, all the things that men do for women, it shouldn't be an issue when some of the same things is being asked of her to say, hey, baby, I'm taking care of everything. I got you. I got the kids. I got us. But this is us. We're a unit. We're a team. We're a family. Or even if you're just dating, no, in that we're a team. We're a family. Your network is my network. So you got friends from undergrad. You got friends from a job you used to have. Let's tap into that. Okay. I need an investor for this project. Some people. Let's make that happen. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's supposed to be covering us. I'm the one that's supposed to be the point person. I'm the one that is making all this happen for us. I need you to play your position, baby. I need you to play your position, play your part, so I can continue to take care of us and have us grow and have us move forward as a unit. So I'll land there.
All right. Shan. See you over there looking. I was like, let's get him in there. Go ahead. What do you think?
No, it's good. B Madden nailed it. Let men use you. Women are so triggered by words. I was having a conversation yesterday. I was driving and listening to a podcast. The woman I was with, she was like, man, that's trash. And then I broke down the podcast to her. And then she reassessed her thoughts on the podcast. And she ultimately said, well, you know what? It's not what he says. It's how he said it. And I explained to her, and I said, listen, of all people, you should know facts over feelings. Truth matters. We don't care about how things are delivered. It doesn't matter how things are said. What matters is what is said. So even here, like Trigger Mike said, these women have these, they're it's almost like they're slave to their feelings and their emotions, and they allow words to change and dictate how they move, which is crazy to me. You would think, when we hear men are the logical creatures, but this right here doesn't take too much logic. It's just kind of common sense. So let me use you. Oh no, you're not going to use me. They don't want to hear that. But think about it. Think about now go to B Madden. Think about everything that B Madden said. He spoke. B Madden mentioned the term bring to the table, because that's what this kind of touches on. And I've always told men, I've been telling men this for years, that's one of the most stupid questions you can ask a woman. I would like men to not ask women. I mean, I get it for podcasts or maybe man on the street interviews and stuff like that to try to get a reaction. But in a real relationship or in a real one-on-one with a woman, fellas, young kings, princes out there that want to be kings one day, do not ask women, what do you bring to the table? It's not a question for you to ask, because the ultimate purpose of her in your life is to see what, and we always say, what value she brings. And you determine that. You determine that. You don't say, hey, what you got? Let me see what I can use. You evaluate her, check her out, vet her out. And then if you see where she can fit in your kingdom, then you use her. Then you use her. Because oftentimes when you ask them that question, they're going to reply with immeasurable, unquantifiable, intangible things that just make them feel good when they say it. So if you got a woman and you're not using her, ladies, use, U-S-E. If I'm not using you to elevate the kingdom, the program, to push the program forward, to make the family better, to use everything that you have so I can see how valuable you are in what I've created and what in this vehicle that I've put together for us to push down the road, then what are you here for? What do you hear? Oh, I'm here to bring you peace. No. See, that's another thing, fellas. Forget this whole I need you to bring me peace, fellas. See, it's word. Men need to become more wordsmiths than they are. No, I don't want you to bring me no peace. I'm already peaceful before you got here. Now you can help me maintain my peace. Because that's think about happiness. You know, you don't need no man to make you happy. You're supposed to already be happy. Exactly. Flip the word, just change the word, swap out the word happy with peace and change the genders. So I don't want you to bring me. No, I do not want women to bring me peace. Man, you should see me how I'm living right now, bro. I'm so peaceful. I'm so peaceful right now, and I don't want it disturbed. I do not want my peace disturbed. And so if a woman is going to enter into my frame and come into Rawls Enterprises, she cannot come in here and disturb my peace because it's already peaceful. It was peaceful before she got here. If it's a little rough, she should be here to make it even a little bit more calm than it was before she got here. And I need to use her to do so. What does she have to do that? I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm going to use it. And if she has a problem with me using her, then she don't need to be here. Shout out to me. He said it was cool.
Indeed. All right, let's get Hink in there. Let men use you. I don't know what's left to say. They kind of ate that, but Hink gonna get something in there. All right.
Hey man, shout out to Bill Weathers, man. Shout out to Bill Weathers. That was a great song that he had come out. But with that being said, man, I mean, you know, like the fella said, I mean, they just the word used it's like cold chills for them, man. Just send it up their spine, have their hair standing on their arms, just everything. But ladies, don't look at it like that. Look at it like it's an opportunity to make your life a lot easier, better, fulfilled, and that you have a job and you're going to get to interact with your man, because your man's going to be interacting with you by laying out the instructions on what needs to be done for the household. Look at it as that way and not being used. Because I know that word is probably triggering. I know it's upsetting to you. I understand. I know what you're going through. Because I got used when I was younger. Women used me for a meal. They used me for my sexual prowess. They used me for a lot of things. And I allowed that to happen. 2023, he don't get used no more. Them days are long gone. So I understand what you're going through, ladies. I promise you I do, because I was in your shoes. So let's look at it a different thing. Like I said, look at it as the opportunity for you to better the family, to make the children better by you staying home and homeschooling the kids, you bringing your degrees that you love to brag about and talk about, and using that degrees to educate our kids, to make our kids more educated, more well-rounded. Use them cooking skills that Hink has invested into these culinary art classes, and get in that kitchen and make some of the finest dishes that we can all benefit from. Use those type of skills. I need that. Use the cleaning skills that your mother made you practice on Saturday mornings while listening to Sade. Use those skills. Take advantage and watch that man smile on his face, be so big and happy, and that he's going to go the extra mile, and you can and he will bless you in the bedroom. That's all I got to say, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, Hink.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of pushback for you, bro. You said, ladies, don't look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why we gotta no, why they should look at it like that?
Oh, I'm being sarcastic as hell, Shan.
No, but you said it about 4 or 5 times, and I think what we're doing and what it is, and baby, listen to me. Don't look at it like using. I want you to look at it like you being. No, I'm using.
Wordsmithing.
Hey, look here. Whatever.
Why
Hey,
we gotta
Shaq, not every man's
on them and sugarcoat and talk to them and baby, please let me understand. I just want you to. I know.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't mean it like that, girl. I don't mean
I
it like that.
understand what you're saying, Shan. But not every man's built like that. Not every man can say that,
and that's why we have.
Not every man can get away and have that type of conversation with their women. You know why? Because they will shut them down, and them dudes will fold like a lawn chair. And you and I both know we see it on a regular basis.
I know, and that's why I'm trying to change the culture, Hank. I'm trying to teach. That's why we have King Talk. That's the invention of this podcast, is to get these brothers to stop rubbing on these motherfuckers to make them feel good. Where we got to change to make them understand something. The whole we've been changing to make them understand for years, and it ain't worked out. And I think it's about time that we just say it like it is. Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. And I know that brothers ain't like that. And I get it that a lot of fathers ain't around. Then that's where he comes in and said, look, man, listen, I understand that we used to tell you to say it like this. No, don't say it. That's all I'm saying. We should probably be a little bit more defined with what we say.
What I didn't say, I didn't say you say it like that. I said telling the ladies, don't look at it like that. That's what I said.
But they should. Why must they not look at it like that?
Because at the end of the day, they're using us the same way. They're using us the same way.
I think we all agree on that.
So if I heard Shan correctly, you're saying I said what I said. That's basically what you
straight shooter.
I said what the fuck
pew,
I said.
Pew, pew, pew.
That makes sense to me. All right, let's get Trev in there. Let men use you.
All right, so Kevin Samuels, right, the Godfather, he used his words the way he did, right? And what he did was by design. The way he used his words, he knew for a fact that it was going to trigger women when he said that. And that's what helped catapult him to where he eventually got, right? And that's whatever, even if women don't like it sometimes, you don't go by what women ask you to do or what they say. It's how they respond to it. And it's crazy because if I say use and you get angry, like, that's weird. I understand that you might feel like it's exploiting you, right? That's the idea they get when they hear the word use. But if I say useful, it's not offensive. But if you break it down, that's what it really means. So why are you worried about the way I say it? And me, I know a lot of people don't like the way I talk. It is what it is, but I'm going to articulate myself in the way that I've always known to. I'm forward. I'm direct. It is what it is. If you can't take that, then that's on you. You probably can't deal with a person like me, and I'm cool with it, right? But women, like B. Madden said earlier, was like, listen, if you're going to use us, we're going to use you too. Why shouldn't you want to be useful, right? If we're talking about long-term relationships, we're talking about building our legacy. Why would you not want to put forth your best effort to offer everything that it is that you have to make our situation better, to make our legacy great, right? Because when you talk about what men do, we put our lives on the line, right? If we know somebody's trying to come into our crib, you know what it is. Everybody get behind me. I'm going to be the one to take this hit, if anybody, right? We're going to protect you. We guard you with our lives, right? We are willing to take the brunt of the work on all the tasks. We don't want you to have to touch garbage, right? We don't want you to get your hands dirty if you don't have to. But what we need you to do is take care of us. You need to put whatever it is that you can into the family. That's your job. And a lot of people don't understand that today. They don't take it on as duty. Women a lot of times come in with a very selfish mindset, and they get with a man to make themselves happy. You think that a man is going to bring you happiness. You are out of your mind. No. You need to understand the assignment is to make the family better. Sure, it's going to be some great times, vacations, right? Enjoyable things that you're going to do. And love is special. Love is great. That's awesome when you can love a woman. But at the end of the day, it's duty first. You have a duty to the family. You have a duty to your children. You have a duty to your legacy. And you should want to bring everything to the household.
All right, Luis and Marcus. Just so you know, you're going last because of what the fuck you said when I got on this goddamn podcast.
You salty much, Mike?
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I show it.
Nah,
Mike
let my
ask,
dog make it. Let my dog make it, man. Let my dog make it.
Mike gotta ask grind.
Yep.
Let men use you. I think what happens is that a lot of women are approaching when they hear that from a bad faith perspective, right? Like everybody just shared, it seems like it's from an abusive kind of perspective or mistreatment. Letting someone use you, you know what I'm saying, depending on the context, it's not bad. I mean, we are useful. You want to pick up the phone and know that somebody reached out to you because they can rely on you, or you receive a message knowing that they value your insight or anything like that. I think unfortunately a lot of women today have been kind of cultured in a way where they think that if a man says like let me use you or anything from you, it's supposed to be received as only a one-way street. You're only supposed to use the man. The man is not supposed to use you or ask you to use any of your skills or abilities. And I think that is a far cry from where we need to be. I mean, I agree with a lot of the sentiment that the brothers had shared. But one of the things that I always ask women is how do you enhance the quality of life of somebody that you're with in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? How do you enhance the quality of life of somebody you're in a relationship with? And I think that's important because you start to women should start to kind of think about what does that look like? Is that nutritional life? Is that maybe you're a better organizer? Maybe you just have a better you probably have a bigger network of people where you could help kind of your partner or person get into certain doors or opportunities, right? Be able to put yourself in a position where it's going to better the relationship, where it's going to better the where it's going to better the relationship and where it's going to better the union, right? I think unfortunately two people today are too selfish and hold things too close to the guard that they don't want to let anyone use them, right? But I think once we get rid of that negative connotation, I think a lot of women will be a little bit more open-minded as long as they know that they're with the type of man that knows how to, use them and not abuse them. I hear you.
All right. Simp Demigod, you're up.
That's a perfect example of why I like. So right now we joking with the whatchamacallit back and forth, right? I think the way we interpret words has a lot to do with body language, intent, and how we accept those things. So I'm gonna kind of disagree with what Shannon was saying in regards to it doesn't matter how you say something. Did I get the point right? I don't want to misquote you, Shannon. Is that right?
Well, no. How you say no? Wait, you say it doesn't matter how you say it?
Yeah, I was trying to get the point, so I didn't misquote you.
Oh no, it matters. Right. How somebody says something certainly matters.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Never mind.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I just said the same two words.
Yeah. Same word. Same exact word.
I did not change a single word. It meant those two different things will garner a different reaction from me in public and shit from a motherfucker that's walking up on me. So no, how you say things matter. However, the delivery should be less important, especially with somebody that you're supposed to be quote unquote rocking with. The delivery should be less important than
actual message.
Than the actual message itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Like what's the name was saying. My man Lewis was just saying, he was saying depending on the context. I don't think it depends on the context in terms of using, because everybody should be used. Like men are only loved under the condition that they provide something. That's what Chris Rock said, and that's true. Men should be. I'm happy with being used. Use the fuck out of me. That's the reason I'm here, for my mother, from women and anybody else. Men aren't love. I don't love you. Nobody has ever loved me for me besides my mom and my father. Not a single wife, woman, girlfriend. Nobody just loved me for me because just I love you, Shannon, for you. No, y'all love me for the shit that I can provide. And I come with resources and it's useful for you. And maybe I get something back in return. And it just needs to be kind of like a compromise. But go ahead, bro. You got it.
Yeah. So I just wanted clarity because one of the things that, you know, I don't think nuance is a strong suit for everyone, right? So it's important that we make sure they understand that you can't just go and bulldoze your way through conversations, because although all us might get it, it's a lot of men who listen in who might take the advice and then, hey, this is how I'm supposed to act, and run with it and run in the wrong direction and get the worst results they possibly can get, because we've seen it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But you say what?
We've seen. You say we see it all the time. Where? How? Where have we seen that before? Because I've seen it on the other side, being the soft motherfucker. I've watched that. You know, I'm so everybody 35 and younger. I've seen the detriment of the soft shit. Where have we seen it where it's been detrimental on the just saying it like it is side?
The whole everything that's on what is it, TikTok, all the women that's talking about the way men are behaving and speaking, that's a direct reflection of that. And you know, hey, that's a direct reflection of that. So when okay, I'll give you another example. Usually when I say
you
something, right?
use TikTok. You gotta give me something other than TikTok, bro.
We don't know none of the same people. Like, I would be like Tanya down the street, well, her man come out home and he'd be like, hey, where my food at? And he trying to use her to get his food. Is one thing. When I come in, I'll be like, baby, can you bring me that plate? And she bring me the I forgot what I had today, nosh ravioli or some shit. And I'm eating and enjoying but it's how I approach things, you know what I'm saying? And buddy down the street, they get to fighting, and he beat up one day, you know what I'm saying? And like it's crazy how this stuff be going. And I'm like, bro, you shouldn't have. That the way you going about it the wrong way. You could get what you want and make somebody be useful to you, but what you border on when you deliver something wrong, it seems to alter the intent, which can turn to being used. Because everybody should want to be useful, right? Nobody want to be used, though. In my personal opinion, you don't want to like. So, I can help you out and do something. Versus, I'm taking advantage of you doing something. I think we border along the lines of taking advantage and how people interpret.
I got to jump in on this. I got to jump in on
you
this.
redefine it. See, the taking advantage part is in and of itself. Taking advantage can stand all on its own. You know, like when you just said, you know, the brother down the streets comes home and say, where my food at? And then you come and say, baby, where's my plate? Y'all said two different things. Now, if you came home and said, if he said, baby, where's my food at? You know, it may be, he may get a different response. If he said what you said, but he said maybe aggressively, and that's how he talks, he probably get the same result that you get. If you came and said, where my food at, but you didn't come in with a you may not get you may get the same result that he get.
So Shan, so we're basically getting on the difference between tone and actually changing the message.
Thank you.
Those are two very different things. Like saying something totally different versus the tone you use by still being direct.
Yeah, be kind. We should all be kind.
Right.
All of us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so you still can get what you're wanting. You still can get what you're asking for by still being direct, but just being mindful of how you say those same words. Because now you're still in your masculine frame, but yet you're saying it in a way that she can receive the message. But when we start changing the words and start changing the messaging to make it even softer and softer, that softens our stance and that softens our frame to where she's just like, you know what? I might get it. Depends how I'm feeling. Or I might not get it. Or you know what? I'm good today. I had a day today. I don't feel like doing it. Now you over here looking at her crazy. Now there's an issue. Instead of just standing on your shit, but just saying it in a different tone.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So in life, people want to be useful, right? It provide the funny thing about being useful to others is it actually benefits you back, because it's a reciprocating cycle. It helps you grow as a person when you see the challenges that you may face trying to, being useful. So you grow skill sets, you grow personal relationships. It can make you more motivated because you grow through what you go through, and it'll strengthen the bond between the two of you or whoever you're in contact with that is able to utilize you in that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it strengthens all those things, and it's a huge positive impact. I think the choices like being useless or useful, loved or unloved, picked or unpicked. Like it's kind of hard to go in on what he said because that's the truth. Like you have to be useful to people.
All right. Marcus took my damn answer at the end. So this particular, if I was going to teach a class to women on, how to even just be good companions. And as black men, let's just say this, as black men, we have a lot of retraining to do, and our women have a lot of unlearning, as do we, but in this particular sense, they have a lot of unlearning to do. They have learned to be basically useless to a man in all the ways that matter. That's unacceptable. One of the things I would teach in a class, objective by objective, is what I've been told coming up. If you aren't being used in a sense, you're useless. You approach every situation in my life. The reason why I can directly attribute the things that I've accomplished in the social arena, in the job arena, career, so on, entrepreneurship, so on and so forth, is I approach every situation with the question, how can I be of service? I understand what I'm doing for me. It may look like I'm doing something for you. I understand what I'm doing for me, making myself useful. All right, there was something that in that movie World War Z, when I was doing my apocalypse episode and I was trying to make reference to it, and Brad Pitt they were calling him in so he could do some work from the UN and identify something. And they were on a ship. He's like, Captain, I don't want to do. Nah, I'm just here. I'm trying to save my family. He's like, look around. There is no need for non-essential personnel. If you don't work, if you don't make yourself useful, take your chance. Go take your chances with the zombies.
You got to
All
get
right?
off the boat.
That is how we should be living our life in every single situation. When I come to something, how can I be of use? Because you're not going to kick me off. You're not going to kick me off this land. I'm going to make myself useful. You're going to give me a job. You won't even think twice. Like they're like, yeah, that's one of them ones right there. We're going to keep him. He can facilitate something out of nothing, right? So women should be doing the same thing in relationships.
Trigger
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought you paused. I was gonna say to your point, like when I first started dating my wife, she used to come ask me, like, is there anything I can do that you need from me, or is there anything I could do better? She used to check in like monthly on that shit.
Dog,
Yo,
that
that
That-
is very
That's
big.
literally where I was going, Marcus. It's
Yo, but
literally what I was about to
let me
say.
tell you right now,
Like-
most dudes will say that's the way their wife is. That's likely what sets apart our wives. Like, think about it this way. I think a lot of women, not to disparage them or anything, I think a lot of women are unmarried because they don't know how to activate some of these characteristics in men. Women that talk like that, like my wife, like Marcus' wife, so on and so forth, she activated something. I'm like, did this woman just check if I need it? Like, when she was my girlfriend, would bring food to my crib and cook it. Talk about, you haven't eaten a cooked meal all week? Nah, I thought she was just asking. Then all of a sudden she show up with grocery. Like, good, this woman is trying to be of service to me. While she talking to me about how my day went, she picked my broom up and was cleaning my car. I was like, good God Almighty. Even if I don't want to marry, I got to give her the ring by default now, right? So this is, I'm saying, women, if you're having trouble in the dating arena, a lot of them are failing in this because they've been taught. You've been trained to make yourself useless. Well, I did it for one man and he broke my heart, so I'm not doing it again. It's not supposed to work like that. You are supposed to be doing all of that and being useful for you. That is on your resume. Every time somebody interfaces with you, whether it's in the social arena, romantic arena, in the job arena, they need to be getting the total experience of you. And yes, they should be using you, your network. Another thing that I wanted to say is we all need to be a value add. That's really all Kevin Samuels is saying. You can be a credit or a debit. There's a term that we use, in the entrepreneurship space, in the venture capital space, where people ask me, "Hey, I heard you set up such and such for this business, and you do the administrative consulting," and they'll say, "I'm trying to open my own business like that. I got a few people hollering at me, which investor should I go with?" And I immediately say, the value-added investor. If you're trying to open a business that has to do with healthcare, but your only investor is in tech, he might not be able to help you. He just got money. He's not a value add. But if you're trying to open let's say a nursing staffing agency, and you have somebody that has a staffing agency for something else, he already know how the staffing game works. That's a value added investor. He might already have the technology. He might already have the staff himself. So you always got to look to be a value add to somebody and be useful in that way. I don't know why it's so hard to tell women to let a man use you. I'm trying to be used. And here's what's so insidious about it. Why are women so upset and so reluctant to let men use you while you're asking the man to let you use him? I don't get it. It's an equal trade that's supposed to be going on here. But anybody got anything else before we move on?
Yeah, I was going to say this real fast is that, you went a little further on the other deal. I was going to say good women want to be utilized.
Yep.
Good women want to be utilized. They want to be of service. They want to help their man. They want to help him move forward and do what he's got to do or whatever, so their situation can be better. A lot of times they'll come to you and ask you, how can I help? Or you're sitting here working on a project, and then she'll come over and say, babe, what you got going? Oh, I'm working on this investment deck, whatever. Oh, is that in the finance sector? Yeah, honey, it is. Oh, I know so-and-so's a vice president of such and such bank. Oh, you do? Yeah, I can give him a call. He's a buddy of mine from undergrad. Go ahead, love. You got it. Like, I think that's simple. I think that's easy. And you do that with somebody that you love, and you do that with somebody that loves you back, and that's taking care of you and watching over you. Kind of like what Shane was saying earlier, I want to be used as much as possible. All of us are being used because we're on this platform. You know what I'm saying? All of us are being used in, whatever business or profession that we have, whatever skills that we have. If my phone's not ringing for people to ask me for something or to be of use, then that's a problem. That means I need to get my skill game up, or, I'm not being viewed as a high value person. So I need to change something in my game to be utilized and to be used as much as possible by other people of quality and influence as well.
And one last thing, when at the end of this, people should absolutely be useful, but don't forget to be gracious of the person that's assisting you. Like, let's make sure we always keep that on there, because that's the quickest way for something to go left. If you don't appreciate that person,
taking people for granted.
Taking people for granted. Yep. Make sure you appreciate those people who help.
Yeah. So there's a point. One of the patrons in the chat did make an excellent point. They said, if a woman isn't offering to be helpful, she isn't feeling you like that. And I completely second that notion, because there are women who I've met who I've watched them not do certain things for some guys they might do for me, or maybe even vice versa in my early years. So you have to be perceived as valuable to that particular woman for her to even offer you those things. And I think it's silly for women to even entertain or waste their time with the men that they don't value. But unfortunately, sometimes they do. And if a woman feels like she's settling for you, then you may not get the same privileges that you would if she felt like you were in a better position or had more to offer than she does.
All right. Yeah, let's get to these super chats real quick.
Wait, Mike.
Go
Let
ahead.
me throw one thing out there. Trev just spoke on something that somebody wrote in the chat. Something about if a woman is not offering to help, she isn't feeling you. And I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of old man advice. In fact, this is gonna be to the ladies that's watching the show. I know this is King talk, and we're here for the men, but there are women that tap into the show. So I got a message for you, ladies. My man Marcus had mentioned that his wife says when they were dating before she became his wife, ding, 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 light bulb, she would ask, "Is there anything I can do?" And then that kind of speaks to what the person, I guess, in the chat had wrote about a woman asking her man, "Is there anything I can do?" Ladies, let me give you some expert senior level masterclass talking points real quick. I did a show on this on my channel about a year ago. Don't ask your man, "What can I do?" Not if you really like him. Primarily because many men is going to say, "Oh no, baby, I got it." And he's going to love the gesture. And smart, conniving women, fellas, this is for you. Some women know that you're going to say, "Nothing, baby, just go chill." Or, "I don't need nothing right now. Just go relax." She knows that you're not going to ask her for any help. So she asks, knowing that she'll get that sentiment, but she realizes she ain't going to really have to do anything at all anyway, because she knows what kind of dude that she's dealing with. He ain't going to want me to do shit, but I'm going to ask anyway, and I'm going to get the points as if I was really going to do it. And if you actually put her ass to work, she'd have an attitude.
Shit. Yeah, I put it to work. She had no attitude.
That's real.
African niggas go put it to work.
That's real. So women, just do it. Just do it. Don't ask. Just do it.
Thank you, Trev. So here's the senior level advice to the ladies that's paying attention, and this is good for men. Ladies, don't ask. A solid woman will assess her man, see the need, and start making shit happen on her own. Whew. And when I worked, I have a military background. When I did work years ago, I always got people. I give you an example, just real quick. When I was working at Sears over a decade ago, the entire department, it was about 180. It was about 200 people at this particular department store. We had a big store, and I came in off the street. They first of all didn't know how I came in off the street and went to straight to what is called Brand Central, right? It's a big department at Sears. And then 3 months I was full-time, and then in 9 months I was a store manager. And so when I would go to regional meetings, there was a rumor about that guy at store 1018. How the hell did he become manager off the street in 9 months? I've been here 20 years to get to this position. In 10 years, it's because when I got to Sears, I started walking around the store during my downtime, and I found out the shit that the store needed to get done. Not that the manager needed or district manager wanted or what my supervisor wanted. I'd see something that was fucked up and I'd fix it on my own. And then the manager would come the next day and be like, "Damn, who did that? Oh, Shannon did that. Shannon is not even supposed to do that." And next thing you know, 9 months later, the store is mine. Now, this is a long time ago, but that's an example of what should happen in relationships. Ladies, don't ask your man. No, ask your man if you basic. If you basically love him. But if you really want results from a man, don't ask, "Is there anything I can do?" Do it. Everybody got a dirty refrigerator. Everybody. Yeah. Refrigerator need the shelves cleaned. Everybody's crisper and the shelves and it's fucked up. There's some orange juice spilled somewhere in that motherfucker. Yeah. Everybody can have their medicine cabinet cleaned out and re-straightened up. There's something that can get done that you can see that you walk over, step over, ignore whenever you with him. Oftentimes when you guys are making things happen on your own because you know it needs to get done, you want to see a man cover you, love you, take care of you, and wish that he would never get rid of you and wife you as fast as possible, is when he realizes that he got a woman that does stuff for the kingdom, for the household, for the program, for his whole everything that he got going on, because she's coming in and doing shit without being asked. And even when she does ask, she might be asking a dude who's so prideful, "Don't worry about it, I got it done." But if you just come in and you just start doing things that he needs to get done, that you know is on his to-do list and has been on there for 6 months, now that is senior level expert masterclass talking points for women to get wives. Just want to put that out there. It's not bad to ask, "Is there anything I can do?" But if you want to be the bomb, don't even ask. Just start making shit happen.
And you definitely showed your age because you just said the bomb. All right. So on the subject of jobs, you are 100% right. This doesn't even just go to relationships. Solve a problem. I told this exact story on my show. I said, how the hell? This is my third director of risk management interview at a hospital. That job opened up at several hospitals in the Houston area. I interviewed twice. I didn't get the job. I was young, actually, 29. So a lot of the people interviewing have far more experience than I did. I got with one mentor, and she said, how are you going to solve the problem? Sorry, he said, how are you going to solve a problem for them? I'm thinking I have to tell them how I'm going to solve a problem. I solved that problem in my current job title and told them what I had already done and what I would do for them. I solved the problem of patient belongings, costing them upwards of $50,000 a year. You know, in hospitals, people get their Gucci bags stolen, they get their Louis Vuitton luggage stolen. Who took it? The damn nurses' aides, the CNAs are trifling. You know, these people will take the patient's belongings, and because you don't know where to store them on the way to the lockup, they go missing, so on and so forth. So I solved the issue for them. These people prolonged the interview 2 hours trying to pick my brain on what other problems I could solve. That's what gets you the job. If you want the job of girlfriend, if you want the job of wife, solve a problem. And then I'll say this again and I'll shut up. I had most of you, I think, before y'all, locked a woman down, y'all were dating multiple women, multiple. And when I decided to, send that text out like, hey, me and my ex reconnected, I can't be rocking with you like that no more. A lot of the women that I was dating caught an attitude. And I think what they were basically saying is, what does this girl have that I don't have? And she solved problems in my life. That's just it. You see what I'm saying? She just came through, didn't ask me, just start fixing shit and solving problems and making the bed and planning dates. She just start doing shit. You see what I'm saying? So those people, not even just women, those people usually get the job. Anybody else got anything on this? All right, let's get to these super chats. My man AP, $5. Shout out to the brothers. Looking forward to a great show. Yeah, it's been a hot one so far. Trev, that sweater fire. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Those are my what's the pattern called? God damn. I forget.
Don't give me the line. I just be throwing stuff on, man.
All right, panel. Don't get pulled in the Triggs world. They coming, man. It's impossible not to. My man Big Ann says, happy birthday, Trigger Mike. Are we still 36 or are we trying something new this year? Yes, we're trying something new, Nick. I'm 37. Damn. I don't know why y'all don't believe me, man. AP, $2. Men say use, women here take advantage. That is true. If you're just tuning in, welcome to King Talk. We got a dope panel, dope conversation going on so far. We're going to move on to the next topic. Damn, let me get the video queued up real quick. This is what we were talking about earlier, Hank. This is the one I was talking about. So this one has a little more to do with boys. And this topic is boys can't learn the same way. So I was just talking to my wife this evening, as a matter of fact, about this clip. And it's something that I have been saying. Most of y'all know that we have a problem with the overdiagnosis of boys with like ADHD, behavioral issues, sending them to the principal's office. And I think this lady kind of details it a little bit more clinically. So this is the next topic. Hold on for that.
Can't learn the same way little girls learn at a very young age. And we're overdiagnosing little boys with behavioral problems and ADHD. And a lot of that has to do with forcing them into situations that are not good for them, meaning little boys have a lot of testosterone between the ages of 3 and 6, which means they need to run around a lot. And between learning, they need to have a lot of physical activity, and we're making them sit in circle time, and we're restraining them in a way that's causing them to feel a great deal of stress with very high levels of cortisol, which makes them seem distractible, and then they're diagnosed as being problems in the classroom. And we're really failing little boys. It's not that there's something wrong with them, there's something wrong with the way we teach them.
Very interesting.
Good God, that was the one for the day. That one been on my mind all day. All right, Luis, we're going to go to you first, dog. Oh, damn.
Okay.
Boys can't learn the same way. I agree. That's very, very true. especially kind of growing up in the public education system here in America, especially out where I'm from. I saw a lot of people have like all these, put in special classes or told that they need to be diagnosed, and there was nothing wrong with them. A lot of them were highly intelligent. It's just that the learning environment in the curriculum, how they're set up, they're just not conducive for those young boys. You know what I'm saying? We all don't learn the same. And I think that the educational system right now keeps changing, revolving in such a way where it doesn't acclimate towards boys, right? It's more catered towards girls. And I think that's where the question or the idea is, should we have an only all boys school? You know what I'm saying? And have an only all girls school, right? Because I think it would kind of leave room for the young girls to learn how they need to learn, but also structure a system where young boys can get that attention or that one-on-one or have that male presence there to kind of guide them, right? A lot of young boys are coming up in, single parent households or dysfunctional households. They don't have the support system that they might need. They might not have all the resources, things like that. And sort of once you put them in an educational system that doesn't tailor to them or understand that, they need that space to kind of roam and be curious and, build the educational system in that manner for young boys within that age who are growing rather quickly, right? I think we're doing a disservice, and I think it shows up every single day. I believe strongly that in this country, we are raising the most dangerous people in America based on how the educational system is set up, based on how the curriculums are tailored, and the absence of consideration for young boys who later will turn into young men. We're not letting them thrive in those environments. And I think that it shows up, and it has been showing up for many years. I mean, just look at it now. So that's all I got.
All right, Marcus.
I think this, like Luis hinted on, I think this goes to the way the family system is set up, right? Because I think having a father in the home provides an example of what pushing through something you don't want to do looks like. So that example of being able to say, do I look like I'm very tired today? Do I look like, I would rather be here with you chilling, but I'm going to do what needs to be done for the family? It embeds in them a sense of work ethic, which teaches the child to push through the things that they're struggling with. I know in the learning system right now, they're developing new ways for boys to get fully acclimated into the school system. Because I remember when I was young thinking like, man, I can't use this today. I can't use this tomorrow. It's not gonna make me no money this week. I don't really want to do this. It's pointless for me. But if I could have had it applied to me in a way where I understood how it would be beneficial in the long run, because it didn't make logical sense. It just seemed like I was spinning my wheels just to be doing something. It seemed like busy work. As you get older, you see that you need to stack up on things. But even that perspective, a man would have to provide so to appeal in a way where a young boy would be able to understand it. So I think boys can learn the same way, but they need male there to discipline or teach them how to move in that direction. And I think when you lack in that, you're gonna have men that will not be able to sit still because they don't possess the discipline. They never got trained to really just operate in that sphere of behavior for school. They had some fathers came to the schools because they was having fights and all this other stuff at I forget the name of the school. Trick Mike, you probably know what I'm talking about. Where like 7 or 8 fathers came in and they start sitting in the classes and those kids had a drastic turnaround like that. I I think that the discipline that men provide,
Louisiana.
the discipline that men provides a way for them to be able to learn and excel in school. And because it's not a lot of men that are there active on the ground boots in these children's homes when you have single mother households or single parent households, that's the result.
25.7% of of teachers are male. So that means that there are 75% women who are teachers compared to only 25% male. It's the numbers are drastic. It's not really a balance.
Man, not only that's a huge part about it, because that's an aside of this particular topic, but even the response from boys to their male authority figures versus their female authority figures is completely different. So I'll just go on this because, like I said, I've been thinking on this all day. As the funny part about it is, I think we have created a culture that not only has done a disservice to boys. I'm starting to think there are some people that prefer it this way. That's a conspiracy theory of sorts, but what it is that because so many boys get wrongfully diagnosed with ADHD and different things, this is where we get this culture of women think they're smarter and or better than men. It stems from the same poisonous tree. You should have seen boys in school. They so stupid they can't sit down. And to Luis's point, they need to have their own schools. You go all over the world, you will see boys' school. Now, Rashada asked a very, very good question. I love when people ask these questions. So how do we teach them? First off, men need a completely separate educational experience from girls. And here's how we teach them. Boys need excessive amounts of recess. Boys need to play to the point of exhaustion. As I was talking to my wife about this very topic, our daughter was laying on her legs. Our son was running around the couch. It was like 8:39, right before we had sound check. Run full speed. There's nothing wrong with that boy. But in a classroom with a female teacher that can't control him and may be annoyed because she argued with her husband all night the night before, he might have ADHD and maybe she needs to send him to the school nurse or to the doctor a couple more times to have him assessed. There's nothing wrong with that boy. He has excessive amounts of testosterone, adrenaline running through his body, and until he tires out, he doesn't need to stop. Now, I did go to kindergarten and a bit of first grade in Nigeria. And they take these type of things seriously to the point where they realize that boys don't even need to be inside. I had a bulk of my educational experience outside. If you want to teach boys math, don't really put a pen and paper in front of them. Tell them to go outside and take 10 rocks and go run all the way over there and go put them down. Now run back over there and get me 3. How many rocks we got left? It is the same education. We should just teach it to boys differently. All right. We get to play while we learn. Very few American institutions even know how to start to do that correctly. So that's where we need to change it first. All right. Let's get Trev in there.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely a problem with overdiagnosing. And one thing we didn't touch on yet is that a lot of times if you are diagnosed with ADHD, then they will actually medicate you. And that's a major problem all in itself. And, there's so many adverse side effects, both short term and long term, including addiction. It's what it does to your hormones. Like it's bad for you, really bad for you. And it just makes you a docile human being. And for some people, it actually has an opposite effect. It makes you more aggressive. So it helps the teacher temporarily, but what does it do to the child, right? What does it do to their growth, right? You should not medicate a child unless it's absolutely necessary, if it's something that they need to survive because of the long-term and short-term effects that it has on a human body. There's so many different side effects. If you turn that bottle around and see, or whatever paper they give you, or do your own research for the things that they won't even tell you right away, or things that they're just finding out, it's absurd for anyone to want to put their child through that. I definitely believe the gentleman on the panel made some great points about there not being enough males in the picture, because if you're already doomed because you have 75% just about of females teaching you who can't discipline you. But then at home, you have that same reinforcement. It's all female. How are you going to understand how to manage your emotions as a man? Women just can't teach that. Women don't even know how to deal with that. And we understand that when we get into relationships as grown people, that women don't understand and know how to treat men and how to help them manage their emotions. They can't help us with that. Women cannot help men manage their emotions. It is what it is. You can't find that in most women. So that's one thing, right? I think that teachers are extremely underpaid. I believe that and it shouldn't come out of our tax dollars. I mean, we have a whole bunch of federal funding to do a whole bunch of nonsense, as you can see right now. They can throw a whole bunch of money somewhere else when they feel like it, but we don't invest into our children. Like, that should just come off the top. Like, for real. Why are we not making the investments that we need? Why are we not coming up with new innovative ideas like we should to be able to educate boys and girls? It's different now. People understand that. We have to combat social media. In addition to that, we have to find, we laughed at it when we said this is the Barney era, right? Because, Sesame Street was one thing, but then Barney made it to where teachers just have a more difficult time, and they complained about it, teaching the children, because when they were growing up, before toddlers, like just infants and everything else, parents would just drop their children in front of the TV and let them watch all these sing-song things and everything. So when a teacher tries to sit there and talk to you seriously, you can't pay attention to. You don't have the attention span for it, because every time that you were educated before, it was infused with entertainment. So if you don't have a teacher that is also an entertainer, they won't even pay attention to you. They don't have the ability to, because that's not how they were groomed. So all thing I can say is, listen, fathers, stop shooting the club up on women who you don't plan on being with forever. Seriously, we need fathers to be in children's lives. I think that can really, really, really help us. I understand that women need to take responsibility for that, but not a lot of men take responsibility for what it is. Because the thing about it is, we get mad about the child support and different things like that, and I understand it. But we definitely have a choice as to who we lay our seat with. We can't do anything about what happens after the fact. But listen, if you don't plan on being with this woman forever, don't shoot the club up. That's just how I will put it, because it's not just your life that's going to be impacted at that point. Children need fathers. You see what happens to young girls who do not have fathers in their lives and what they become, and you see what happens to young boys. And we have to pay attention to that.
Trev, I'll take it. Trev, I'll even take it a step further. Whether it's an intentional pregnancy, whether it's an non-intentional pregnancy, a lot of people are not having conversations about, we have a child that's on the way. We are either semi-ready, not ready at all. We need to talk about some basic ground things. How are we going to raise this child? What faith are we going to raise this child? What belief system are we going to instill in this child? Right? What customs are we going to surround this child in and around with? You know what I'm saying? What educational system are we going to instill? Are they going to be homeschooled for the first few years? Or are they going to go into private school? A mercenary school? Like, what type of educational doctrine are we going to usher into this child's life? Right? And a lot of those conversations, you know what I'm saying, need to be highlighted and need to be brought up. You know what I'm saying?
Why they don't happen, though? The reason that those conversations don't even happen is because we didn't choose to sleep with the woman who we could see ourselves spending the rest of our lives with. She had a fatty, and I wanted to hit, and I did. And I shot the club up because it was wet. It is what it is. And when we make decisions like that, we end up with results like this, with children who have no direction because there was no one there to direct them. Right. So I definitely dig what you're saying, but we're not going to have those conversations because we're not equally yoked. We don't even have the same value system. right? I'm pretty sure at least 80% of us on this panel right now that ran up in a joint that you did not have the same value system. You didn't have the same faith, like you mentioned. You probably didn't have the same hygiene. You didn't have the same values, right? None of that. None of that even mattered. You didn't think about none of that. All you saw was a fatty or some tatas, and you said, let's get it, right? And then you went raw. And then you shot the club up. You made 3 horrible choices, and now you got a baby. And now we're dealing with this, and we can't agree on nothing. And then you know what we're going to be defaulted in? Child support. That's where we at. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see that CS on your check and like, damn, this bitch. And that's where we at with it. And we could avoid that situation. We could completely avoid that situation by avoiding women who don't deserve our seed. We have to protect our seed, no matter how we do it, whether it's through protection or just abstain for at least those types of women. We have to be more selective, right? We can't be so enticed by these women. And I think that's the reason why I'm going in this direction and kind of going off a little bit on a tangent is because that's the root of the problem. None of this would even happen if we did not stay away from that lady who we knew we were supposed to stay away from. We just had to be more responsible. Take control. Because you know what? The government ain't helping us. Nobody's helping us. Nobody's going. When it happens, it's over. You're not going to get help. The government is not going to help you. The court system is not going to help you. The legislators are not going to help you. You have to help yourself prior to it happening. Stay away from them types of women who you don't want to be with, because you don't have any rights. Once you planted the seed, it ain't yours no more. You don't have any rights. They're taken away from you. That's just how the laws are right now. And we're working on it slowly. But as it is right now, you need to protect your seed.
I don't disagree with you, Trev, at all. I think you're absolutely right. Preventative measures are the best remedy. But however, there are going to be people that are going to fall through the net and fall short. The condom broke.
Oh, yeah.
I should not
Always.
take the pill. You know what I'm saying? There's always these circumstances that happen. So since a few people missed the parachute, how do we provide them helmets for the hard hit that's to come, right? What questions like, look, we don't see eye to eye, or we didn't intentionally, have this plan, but let's talk about these things. How do you feel about this? I believe these X, Y, and Z. Can we come to, to these sort of things? I would like to start this conversation. I would like to start this march. I would like for this child to instill these sort of values, especially if it's a young boy. We need to course correct at some point. We can't just say, well, we lost another one to the game, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, hell no.
we have to kind of set some sort of guardrails at some point in order to keep people thinking and having these conversations, and especially to provide something of substance to these young people, because that young boy is going to be in the world with the rest of us at some point. You know what I'm saying? And at least we could walk away with we put out enough information and enough knowledge and enough tips and insight to kind of guide people in a direction where they can help set this child up in a better light and in a better direction. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got.
Without derailing or changing the subject, I disagree with a lot of what Trev says, because what he's talking about is a minority of men. Most men do protect their seed. We're talking, there's Pookie's out there, and trying to convince Pookie to not be Pookie is going to be hard. And reality is, the dudes that's out here having these kids with this multitude of women is just a small sect of us. It's not most of us. So you're not preaching to the majority of the men. You're preaching to a few dirtbag, dirty dick niggas, and they probably not listening to our podcast anyway. So.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. The only reason I say that is when you're talking about just about 80% of us are raised by single parents, then we got to do something different, right? If the number's that high, if it's that bad.
No, what numbers are you talking about though? You talking about the
people who are raised by single parents? Yeah, means that it didn't work somehow. And there's always divorce and stuff like that.
That again, for me, in my personal opinion, that's a conversation that needs to happen with women, because us men are not fucking them women like you making it seem like. It's not. It's literally smart. Most men don't even have children. Most black men don't even have. Most black adult men don't have kids.
Yeah, it's about half. It's about half. It's about half. If you're talking about 25, if you're talking about 25, up to 25 is like half, and then it goes up to 63% after 25.
So we got that. And then you got the other then the other men is married. So we're talking. So everything that you're saying, you're talking to a small sect of men, and them niggas is niggas. So the issue is the conversation needs to be had with women that's out here having all these goddamn kids. I mean, there's so many different ways we can go, but that's not the topic. The topic is what about boys learning. So I hear what you're saying. We can have that conversation at a different time, but I just want to throw that out there. But boys can't learn the same. I mean, boys are Martians, in my opinion. I think Marcus was like they can learn. I think it was Marcus that said they can kind of learn the same. I don't know, Marcus. Boys are different. Boys are Martians and being taught by Venetians. Lewis said that 75% of the teachers are women. That's overall K through 12. The thing is, women make up 90% of the elementary school teachers. When you break it down by grades, the women got it on lock where it actually matters, and the personality development and stuff matters. We all know the first 5 is critical, but the next 5 after that is important, and women got that on lock even worse. Typically where the men come in, they're football coaches, so the 75% of overall K through 12 teachers are women. So that 25% is typically coach, maybe a math teacher here, but generally coaches and shit. So women,
social
and
studies.
Then when you get to, yeah, exactly. When you get to elementary school, 10 teachers in a room, all 9 of them is women. And these women are guiding boys after what my man Trev just said, coming from an all-woman household, auntie, big mama, sister, and mama. And this boy is listening to all of them. Then he gets to school, and his first shit as long as he's in elementary school for the next 6 years. Women. It's women everywhere. And so, so now he's just being indoctrinated. And this is why, again, I do agree with this part with Trev, is fathers, we got to be there as much as possible. The argument I have, this is another part, Trev, but for the ones that do want to be there, are they allowed to be there? But, this niggas is fucking women that he should have understood that he wasn't going to be able to be allowed to be there. But then he got the chameleon. I mean, it's such a crazy argument. And it's a lot of nuances in there to have to go through again. But it really goes back to just a small sect. But here's the thing. ADD and the new ADHD, how they had to add the hyper part so they can medicate people, because they had to add the hyper part so they can give them shots. They did that when I was in school in the 80s. I'm with Trigger Mike's conspiracy theory. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, but it's Shannon's opinion tonight. I think that they do want to keep men docile. I think it is a bigger agenda for men to be docile and to create that. And I think they did it to keep teachers from quitting. Because if you got boys going to kindergarten to 5th grade, and 90% of those teachers are women, in order for those women to even want to come to work and deal with these boys, they had to give them a jab. That's what I particularly believe. And if they didn't give them a jab, it's going to drop the workforce of teachers, which raises the prices. And the wages go up. And now you got to pay teachers even more money because it's only a few of them that even want to go to work to deal with these boys because she can't handle it. But if we medicate him, he's calm and we just got to push him through. Now they can't even hold him back. There's no such thing as holding the child back. It's like he can't read. Well, they'll figure it out the next grade. Just push them through and run that money through from the Capitol down to the school board, down to our classrooms. I think some people can call it a conspiracy theory. I hear you, but Shannon believes that that's in fact what the hell they're doing. And so in order to keep these women employed and make them happy, but we only got to throw them a few peanuts because, they're not really contributing to the economy much anyway. Just throw them a couple dollars, You know, they got to pay them much. I think somebody mentioned on here that teachers get paid shit. They do. My father was with Los Angeles Unified School District for 44 years before he retired. Started in 66, retired in 2005, something like that. My first major in college was liberal arts. I was going to be a teacher, thinking about following my footsteps until I made a complete switch. Realized I couldn't do the shit that he was dealing with. I understand the education system intimately. And I believe that and if you listen to even Dr. Umar, because, you know, he's the child psychologist and he's creating the FDMG and all that kind of stuff. He parrots this point. Man, they're doing this on purpose to keep these boys docile so the teachers can manage to get through them, so that schools can get their money and just usher them on by and make sure you don't send them back in that class or have them do that year again. That's been eliminated, at least in LA. That's been eliminated. I don't know how it is in y'all state.
No Child Left Behind is pretty much universal. Yeah.
So then, you know, it is what it is. And then so now you got these boys that's dealing with women. I mean, even think about it. How many male teachers do you guys remember having yourself? And if you do remember, you remember him. You remember him,
coach,
because it was just him. It was only him.
He roll out the basketballs at PE and go sit in his goddamn office. Never saw that dude.
See, yeah, man.
I mean, there is a cost. There is a cost associated that are paid to these people who are diagnosing these kids. Think about it. You get an enrollment of elementary school kids. You know what I'm saying? I just finished doing a elementary school up here in Massachusetts that will house about 850 students. And that's from 5th to 8th grade. 850 students. So think about if 1 in 8, that's the number. 1 in 8 is diagnosed. I looked it up. 1 in 8 students. So you do the math. That's 1 in 8, 2 in 36. You know what I'm saying? That is like 4 within 100 students. 4 within 100 students. Right? And then we keep going up. That's like 100 within like 400. Right? And sort of you think about how much they get paid per student that they diagnose. Right? At that point, it's not even about making the best medical decision for a child and their family. At that point, it's just about the money. Like, look, we see this young kid, he might be trouble. Single mom, you know, broken home. He's smart, he's bright, but yeah, we're just gonna finagle this. I think that he's gonna have a lot of tough time trying to focus. He has way too much going on in his outside life. I think it's best that we put him on this, you know, IEP program and all this and that, and we diagnose, stamp, sign, deliver. That's really what's happening.
Yeah, I think that what happened was initially when they came up with the idea, I think they didn't want to, you know, they wanted to afford the opportunity to children for people to say, all right, well, don't ignore these people. Listen, make sure you take care of these guys and we'll incentivize it. So now you have an incentive here to take care of it. So you're going to get extra funding now. So now they like, wait a minute. Yo, this check hitting different. Wait a minute. So what if we get another one? Okay, now we got another. Oh, so they decided to run it up. And now it's a game. I don't think it was initially designed like that. I think they really, who knows? It could have been like that off rip, but I think that it was in good faith. And then it just was, and now it's a perversion of what it is.
Look, these families that receive.
You think off the rip?
It happened in welfare. They watched it happen before.
Thank you, Shan.
It was a hustle from the very start.
These families are receiving as low as $917 to $1,350 per child.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money.
You know
I know it's definitely a hustle right now. It's definitely a hustle right now. We knew that for sure, and they're running it up.
Yeah. I'll tell you, my was it the first job? I think his very first job after graduation. Graduated in May, started his job September. A day treatment counselor at an elementary school. They just let anybody do it for me. I was a health administration grad, but somebody was like, yo, they paying big money for black men. They need black men in these schools. Like, so I did that job, and that was my first and only experience inside of the actual elementary school system. So to me, we don't talk about it enough how much the male presence is actually needed in these schools. And another big part of the agenda is that we have to understand a lot of the women are embarrassed that they need male representation. That could be another part of the agenda where we just don't want to talk about it because it feels like we're throwing women under the bus. But what I want a lot of women to understand is that when it comes to these boys, this is a lot of the work is a job you were never meant to do. There was a kid named Raekwon. He had in order to qualify for the program, what day treatment was is they started in Virginia a program where your counselor would just be at the school. Like your behavior intervention counselor, they just be at the school with you. So it was a team of us. We had our own offices, on everything. You just be there and you go take notes in in their class, see how they're doing, look at their treatment goals, go in there, you're behaving yourself today. If you curse the lady out today, that type of stuff. You might sit down, eat lunch with them, so on and so forth. And I had this little kindergartner named Raekwon. If you see the way this boy was tearing up before I got there, but the second he saw me, he just, well, let me sit down and let me fix my stuff. I don't want to disappoint Mr. Mike. Right. And that is so impactful when you look at how boys socialize or interpret their authority of males versus their female counterpart. Mind you, this is kindergarten. They got two women, grown women in there, the teachers and the teacher's aide. That boy tap dancing on their head. But I walk in there, he want to sit his ass down. So it's important that we have that discussion. And, I know a lot of women will get pissed off about it and think we're talking about your inadequacy. No, you were never meant to do this job. These boys respond to actual authority, the person that can actually make them sit down. And what I really love about certain teachers, they just started to come to get me. They were like, well, shoot, how about we just start getting him to show up a little earlier, put him at the beginning of his rounds, so maybe Raekwon won't even act up. And I was mad when they took that program away. But these men are needed in these schools. And like Shan said, at the elementary level. All right, Hank, go ahead. You got it.
Well, I mean, a lot has been said, but I talked about a little bit about it during the pre-show, and it's not just the men, but the boys. Period. So I'm gonna keep it all the way on us. They're targeting black boys. No other race of boys they really care about. It's little black boys. They know that they can get them because they have just a little bit more energy and testosterone than these little white boys do. And they're a lot more harder to handle and deal with. So the bad thing about it is the girls are the worst. Y'all keep talking about these boys. The girls are the worst. And they're not allowed to handle the girls like they do the boys. So when I say parents need to protect their sons, when they talk about they being abused or certain things going on, parents, you need to look into that. Because what they saying could be true. Don't just pass it off as them just saying that because they got in trouble today. Make sure you investigate because they do intentional things to get these boys to get these IEPs. I promise you they do. That's more money. The average student is only $1,500. But if I could get $2,500, that's an extra $1,000 every child I can get. Like Lou said, 1 in every 8 they diagnose. Oh man, they going for one in every 4. That's their goal. I promise you. And guess what they also bring in? They also bring in an assistant. So each kid, for every kid that is about 4 to 5 of them, they bring in one new assistant for them kids. And like what Mike, what you were talking about, the job you're doing, that's what they're bringing them in for. So they'll be at the school 3 out of 5 days a week. So now that's another assistant they could just stick in the classroom as a teacher helper or as a fill-in, as a substitute, whenever there's a shortage, they use these people for that. And that they're going to get the more money and get to pay these people less than what they pay some of these teachers. Now, when they put these kids on these drugs, they have the right to give the medicine now. You're giving the school nurse the right to give them these kids medicine because they can't just bring it in themselves. You have to take the medicine to the school and give it to the nurse, and the nurse will give it to them. You're not giving it to them first thing in the morning because they feel like you may not be responsible enough to make sure the kid's going to take it. The kid cannot leave that nurse until they prove that they took their medicine. That's a lot of money to be made every time. That's why you don't see them suspending kids in school no more. They rather put them in school suspension or detention in order to punish them. Because if they're not in school for at least half a day, they don't get they don't get paid. So when you're gonna see more resource officers in these schools, you're gonna see all of that because they can afford it to now because they got them IEPs and they okay with that. Now it's going to have safety and all of that. All in these schools, way more than they was because they getting money. Special ed kids, learning disability teachers, they get paid more because they have to have a more difficult job. But guess what? Every kid in that classroom got an IEP on them kids. I'm just saying.
I would say this too.
Like I said, these girls are some of the worst. These girls are fighting more. They're more volatile, and they're not able to address them and handle them. They pretty much got to let them fight it out, tire themselves out, and then break them up.
That is true.
Teachers are scared to touch and grab these girls because they're going to get some type of case, or they're going to say, "Well, the teacher touched me inappropriately." When the only thing the teacher or the security officer trying to do is break them up, and you may grab their chest or their arm or be a little too aggressive because you trying to get aggressive and match their energy.
God damn. You remember them days when the male teacher used to break up a fight by throwing both of y'all to the ground like y'all can't do that stuff no more.
I was a for like 3.5 years right after college, and I'm watching the teachers that they tackling these boys.
Yep,
they not just grab, they tackling them. I mean, like they have football flashbacks. I mean, they are tackling, but the girls they will not do them like that.
I fought this dude.
They'll gently come over and try to grab my arm and back of their shirt, try to pull them back. But if that girl's aggressive, keep on go at it, they'll let them go, tie themselves out, and then pull them apart.
No, I had to fight this. I fought this kid that hit my sister. Like just knee-jerk reaction. He thought he was playing around, like swung at her, did some good. I just hit him. Man, that teacher tackled me so like black dude, like boom, football tackle. And then you trying to be like, who the fuck was that? He's like, man, I wish you would. Like, what? I wish you would. Go ahead, swing them arms. Swing them little ass arms. We need them type of teachers back. But you said something.
Mike, I'm telling you, I remember back in the days, I had that teacher where he said, I don't break up fights. I'll let them tire themselves out. Because most of them ain't gonna fight over 2 minutes. Ain't nobody, they not trained like that.
Long ass fight.
Stamina. The fight's gonna last about 10 to 15 seconds, and then that's when they gonna pretty much break and take the breaks. And that's when they snatch them apart. Teacher said,
2 minutes. That's MMA fights don't last that long.
In the midst of trying to break up two kids, no, let them fight. Then break them up when they done. They tired.
Mm-hmm. Shit. All right. Be mad. You all right, man? I've been looking at the bottom of the screen, bro. You struggling.
Bro, I'm just waiting, man.
Oh, you know what? No. I caught your IG story. It was that PV homecoming. That's why your ass over here struggling. Now it makes sense now.
No,
you still recovering. That's what it is. All right.
Yeah, I'm a little congested. I am a little congested. That's what happens when you're outside.
Yeah, you were swimming in deltas this weekend. That's what that tends to do to you. But anyway, please. You got the floor.
Yeah, I have no comment on that one. Anyway.
Don't attack the brush, Trigger Mike.
Nah. Hey, I love the K's too, by the way. I love the K's too. Yeah, we all K's.
I don't. I really don't.
Oh yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Glad
you. Yeah. Anyways, so much was said again. Mike, remind me to never go after Shan, because like he literally like ran through all the points I had written down. Like I was, the Dr. Umar, he hit with the No Child Left Behind, he hit with the coaches as the teachers. He hit on all that shit. So I ain't gonna lie, I was low key a little salty. I'm like, damn, Shan, you going early? He didn't call you out yet. Damn, I had to put my notes away. But real quick, what I do want to hit on just a little bit. I am from the great state of Texas. So No Child Left Behind was the mastermind of George W. Bush. He started in the state of Texas, and then he became president, and then pushed it nationwide, even further. So, with the kids, not, excelling like they need to, not being at the proper reading level or math, arithmetic level, or what have you, they just kept getting passed on. They were going to be someone else's problem, especially with there's a lot of, he said, 90% of the grade school teachers are women, and then 75% overall are women. It's tough. I mean, I can literally, myself personally, I can call out a few teachers on one hand that were men, and all of them didn't populate until I got to high school. And they were the majority of them were coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches. They were either health teacher, science teacher, history teacher. I had one teacher that was a economics teacher who was not a coach. He was straight teacher. And again, the only other males that are in the school is usually the principal or their assistant principal. And that's at all the different levels, elementary, middle school, high school. But their presence is more so making sure the teachers are on point, not more so the kids. They see the kids, they see two extremes of kids typically. They see the kids that are really excelling and doing great, and they're holding their school up in a great way. They're getting scholarships and different things like that. So they push them forward. And then they see the kids that are always in trouble, always in school suspension and that kind of stuff. And then they're looking at them, trying to figure out what's wrong with them. But the kids in the middle just get, forgotten about. So that's what typically happens in those situations. I know people, might have their opinions and feelings about Dr. Umar Johnson, but I am a huge proponent of him, especially when it comes to this child psychology, which is what he's known for, which is what he's went to school for, and what he has all his accolades in. I have had the pleasure of sitting down and doing a panel with Dr. Umar and help bringing him down to a couple of different cities in Texas, and speaking on child psychology and whatnot. And all these young boys that are being, misdiagnosed. It said about, I think I want to say, he said it was like 90 or 95% of the time, it was by a single mother who allowed the school district to test their child. Like put them in a situation to where they say, hey, little Quandre is acting up. So he's really rowdy and he's disrupting everybody. We want to test him to see if he has ADHD. And then the mom's like, oh, okay. Well, then she gets his note from the school, and then she signs it and says, okay, do what y'all got to do. And then they do it, diagnose him, and then they start giving him the meds. Next thing you know, little Quandre is docile, real low energy, not even the same kid anymore. Like, it's really, really sad. And that's messing with his testosterone development. That's messing with a whole lot of different development in those young men, and those children. It's like giving those kids cocaine. It's a lot of times. It's really what the synapses do in the brain. It's if it's taken at a high level like that, it's like burning those synapses, man. It's horrible. It's horrible what they're doing to the kids. And these single mothers don't know what to do. They think the school district, they think the school is on their side. In all actuality, what you guys were talking about was, they're here to get a check. They're here to get that bonus money, that extra $1,000 or what have you, for each head and each kid that they have diagnosed. So the school district is now on your side, single mother. They are not your friend. They're not. And a lot of these
Yeah.
teachers can't handle these boys. They cannot. And they refuse to, which is why we're in the situation we are in right now. We do need more male presence. I think that's been echoed throughout this entire panel. We need more male teachers. We need more of the fathers sitting there. We need all that. But there are the complexities that's baked in that too, whether you're with the mother or not with the mother, and this and that, and those are nuances on top of nuances. And then lastly, yes, educators are highly underpaid, but we have to remember our history, that the state education system was never meant to really help people. So you have to remember that was all that was even created based off of some of the recommendations of Henry Ford, and him making sure that all of his factory workers were educated enough for the assembly line. So you have to remember that what's happening in a lot of these school districts, or just in the US, basic public education is not your Montessori school level. It's not your private school level. It's not your academy level. It is bare bones. This is math. This is science. This is reading. You can be a functioning adult, and that's it. So we have to remember that. And what they're doing now, they're teaching these kids things that are pushing a particular agenda. And part of that agenda is pushing docile young Black boys so that they can be controlled by the state. They can be controlled by the government. So let's not forget that. We have to protect our young Black boys and our Black children, period. And I'm going to land at that.
Protect them young Black boys for real, indeed. The Red Pill Ranger, $5. Most men don't even have kids. It's certain men having kids with multiple women. I probably can guess that multiple women probably interface with B Madden this weekend, per his Instagram story. Y'all bros be wilding.
Hold on. You said 54% of Black men in this country are single and childless. 80% of households are single mother households, but only between 18 and 20%, all the women are having sex with those type of men.
Yep.
So that's the inaccuracy that Shan was hitting on with Trev, is that it's not like it's a million men out here having sex with all these women. It's a whole lot of women having sex with the same small percentage of men. So we have to be mindful of that. And like you said, the majority of men are single and childless. And you have the rest of the leftover men, which is about 30 some odd percent, that are married. So we just have to be mindful and stay in reality here, and just level set that it's not the majority of men that's doing the most out here. It's a smaller percentage, about 18% roughly. And you just got to do better. That percentage needs to do better. But the rest of us, guys, stay on your purpose, keep grinding. But our ladies, you got to choose better at the end of the day.
Indeed. The Red Pill Ranger again, $5. The worst men have the most kids. That has nothing to do with men. It's 100% females choosing methods. These men shouldn't be an option. Damn, he just echoed everything you just said, which is crazy. All right, if you just tuned in to King Talk, we're going to get into our last topic of the night before we get out of here. It is the title of the show, which is she settling for you? I love perusing through Instagram in the morning. I usually get most of the topics that I use just from the morning, scroll. This is one I came across this morning. Let's hear this lady's take on it, then we're going to chop it up after.
with you. I have girlfriends in marriages right now who have settled with the nice, safe, secure guy we weren't all that attracted to. We didn't really want that much. We didn't have any chemistry with. We had meh sex with because we had to. Because the guy we actually felt passion and chemistry for doesn't want us or makes us so emotionally unhinged and erratic that we can't look ourselves in the mirror anymore. Normally, those guys that we settle for don't make it happen. To us, it's like, well, damn, if you're putting up with it, well, okay, cool. If you're still here, cool. When you want to go, that's fine. But in the meantime, I got no one else. You're here to give it. Cool. I accept. But my God, I see how pathetic you are, and I will definitely use that to my advantage. We'd leave you in a heartbeat if someone better came along.
So they're completely not afraid to say this shit no more. God damn. Terrorist. I hope she suffers for the rest of her days.
But you want to know? But you want to know what she said in the beginning? What she said in the beginning set the thesis for everything that is to come after in this conversation tonight. That the man that they wanted don't want them, or makes them feel a certain type of way that it drives them crazy. So let's start off from the beginning. The man that you want most likely doesn't want you because you don't qualify for that type of man. Once you start there, you probably don't qualify for the man that you want, because the things that you want in that man, you don't exhibit any of the things that he reciprocally wants out of you as a woman. Right? You're probably not sweet. You're probably not feminine. You're probably, you know what I'm saying, probably always have an attitude. It's probably your way or no way, right? There's a lot of reasons why that man might not want you. For starters, there's a lot of other women that are probably knocking on his door, for starters. But at the beginning of the segment of the conversation, we talked about how to separate yourself, ladies, from other women. You know what I'm saying? Add value. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait to be told, you know what I'm saying, how you can show up for them. Just show up. Do things. You see things that are out of place or out of order, you already read the room, read the situation. You've had enough conversations in the beginning to be like, I know he does this, and I know he's always preoccupied or inundated with these things. Let me just start doing this. Let me take care of this. I know he probably didn't eat. Let me just do this. Already start adding value. You probably didn't exhibit any of those qualities, because if you did from the very beginning, he would have quickly noticed you. There's all these other women, and all of them look bad, and you probably looks just as good, but they probably don't show up the way that you do. And that's how you need to separate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And for the men that she talked about that probably drive her crazy and probably feel away, yeah, that's your Chad, that's your Tyrone, that's your Pookie type dudes, right? Man, you will have a child with that person, and you will go through this emotional roller coaster up and down, back and forth. It'll be a fun ride in the beginning, but then out of it, you'll come out complaining on the other side that all men ain't shit, all men are this, and all men that. No, sweetheart, all the men that you pick and all the men that you select ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? When we start there first, right? It's about separating yourself from the herd and showing up in a particular way for the type of man and qualifying yourself, because you qualified yourself for the degree, you qualified yourself for the job, but why didn't you qualify yourself for the man that you wanted? Are you?
Luis.
Yo, Luis on a rampage. That's not even.
Luis
took offense to that. Oh shit!
Yeah,
he took offense to that.
yeah. Let me jump in on this. This is a good one. I like this one here. Luis, you hit on some good stuff, but there's a couple of pieces I gotta hit you on real quick. Like, you said a lot of times some of these women just weren't qualified for these guys, or they didn't do those intangible things to stand out and whatnot. I don't even think that's always the case. that might be the case here and there. I don't think that's always the case. I think a lot of times they were the women that went above and beyond for those men. I think they literally gave it their all. Like they gave everything that they knew what to do. At the end of the day, they just weren't it for him. They didn't just do it for him. That's what it really comes down to. It comes down to that particular guy has all the options in the world. So he's like, why should I settle for just you? I can have her, I can have you, your homegirl, your line sisters. I can have all of them. Why you? What makes you that much more special? Or it was a situation to where, this might be a little toxic situation to where it's just like, hey, he got what he wanted already. He's cool. He got what he needed. He's keeping it moving. And a lot of times these women are simply just digmatized. They're simply digmatized. They're digmatized. They got it how they wanted it. They got it the way that they love it. And now they're walking, they're following that dude behind them like a sad puppy dog, just like, well, what do you need? What do you need? Well, so what are you about to do now? Well, can I come hang out with you, or can I pull up, or can I? No, boo, I'm good. That was it. It was fun, but I'm cool. That's the dude they really wanted. Now you're talking about the guys that they settled for, or what have you. Honestly, in this dating time in 2023, and being single in this age right now, that's the scary part. What's scary is getting married. What's scary is getting married to women in this time frame, in this generation right now, because they're outwardly saying these things on, hey, I'm with the safe guy. I'm with the guy that was a little nice. I'm with the guy that he likes me a whole lot more than I like him. And since they couldn't get the dude they really, really wanted, they just took it all the way back. All right, who's crazy about me? What they did was that they took that power dynamic and flipped it on its head, is what they did. They said, I got too far outside of myself for this dude that I really wanted, so I'm going to reel it back a little bit. And now I'm going to play a little power game here and see who's crazy about me, who's willing to give me the most of them for me to come under them. So that's why they're so willing to fight with their man as often as they do. They're okay with them being mad at them. They're okay with starting mess. They're okay with saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm not happy anymore. Let's get divorced and take half of your shit and keep it moving, and then keep the kids and use it against you and whatnot, because you weren't him to her. At the end of the day, you weren't him. You really weren't. And they're not going to tell you this, but the guys who are him are the ones that know that you're not him for her. Literally, I've seen women that have gotten engaged, that have gotten married, that literally would get on the phone and they say, hey, I just got engaged, just letting you know, you doing good, everything straight with you, just tapping in just to see, what's going on, and do I have a chance? I'm letting you know somebody's presenting, they're offering their whole life to me. Can you give me anything? Can you offer me it? No? Okay. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna keep going this way, but I'm always available. You got my number still anytime you need me. So that's that old college boyfriend. That's that old high school sweetheart. That's that dude from that job that just imprinted on her. Fellas, beware. And really vet your woman out. Take the time. Don't rush anything. Don't try to hurry up and get married 2-3 months after you get with her, after you start dating her. Try to hurry up and get a ring, trying to rush her down the aisle. Nah, take your time, vet her out properly, and make sure she's all about you. Because the only way this thing works the right way is if she's all in on your programming and what you got going on. Because if it's the other way around, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, because she has the power, and she's going to leverage that power whenever she feels like it, and leave your ass and take your shit, take half your shit, and leverage the situation with your children. And that's just, and they're not going to feel bad about it one bit, because they're going to feel entitled to it and they're going to feel owed it. So I yield.
Well, let me say this. A woman like that, she's good for me because I use and abuse her and I kept it moving. I love them type women. They talk like this, act like this. Say what you want to. You settle for me? Well, I don't care. I'm not marrying your ass. I just want 20 goddamn minutes. That's all I care about. And I keep your ass moving. You don't mean shit to me. You're a doormat, and I'm walking all over you and take advantage of your time. I didn't care that your son was in the house. You know, I'm gonna say hi, Junior, pat him on the head as I walk out the goddamn door. Doesn't matter. So when I hear women like this talk, you good. You're a victim. And I'm gonna take advantage of you. And I'm gonna keep it moving. Because I don't value you. You just all talk. Settle for me all you want. Well, call it what you want. You know what you're gonna end up saying? Oh, Hank, you ain't shit. You little dick motherfucker. You only gave me 5 minutes. Say all you want, what you want. I don't care. Say all the lies. Throw it all. Common name. Doesn't matter. I got what I needed. Now I'm gonna get on out this door and keep it moving. And guess where I'm gonna be at the next day? The next door neighbor. I'm gonna hit your next door neighbor because she seen me. She heard you moaning and groaning. She heard the sounds coming through the walls of the apartment. She know what it is. And guess what? I'm gonna knock her down too, just to piss you off. And I'm gonna run through your goddamn apartment complex if I have to. Until I find that right woman that's gonna force me to settle down, who's gonna bring me the value that I'm really looking for, and not just some 20 goddamn minutes. So shout out to you, man.
Give Hank his damn 20 minutes. Give Hank his damn 20. Hank always wants. It's always 20. It's always 20 with you, Hank. Give Hank his 20 damn minutes every time. Give him 20, the best 20 minutes of your life. Give him his 20 minutes. Keep it moving.
I know that's right.
The average session is 5 minutes. That's what it's recorded as. I don't know who's doing what. But
seriously?
I don't know.
No, that's real stats.
That's real stats, Trey. 5 minutes?
Real stats. Not my stats, but those are the average. Look it up.
So is that the average quickie? Is that the average quickie?
No, the average session period.
Like full session.
What do you need more than 10 minutes for? Somebody please let me know.
I mean,
hell no.
That's like one position, man. That's like one position.
That's one position.
My
20. Like what you talking about? Like you might want to flip it over, man.
10 or less, or I'm going to sleep. That's all you got. With my fucking ass. I'm sorry.
No,
you break a sweat at that point, bro. What we doing out here? We can't be representing like that.
A nigga back hurt.
Foreplay with that shit.
That's foreplay, man. I ain't
we
even
treat
started
this like
yet.
a gym workout.
I ain't started yet. We gotta warm up.
We do squats, leg push-ups, rollovers. It's a whole gym workout. We need at least an hour.
An hour? All right, I can't, man. Y'all, an hour. What the fuck going on here? All right, Shan, what you got on it? Is she settling for you?
No. There's no such thing as settling in relationships. It's just talking. It's more just conjecture. It's just talking points. Nobody settles. Nobody actually settles for anybody. There's no such thing. Settling is like when you qualify for a $500,000 job, but you accept the $50,000 job just because you rather do that. Nobody does that. What we do is we accept what we qualify for.
Ooh.
So the problem is too many people think they qualify for something that they don't. And in this case, since we're talking about is she selling for me, far too many women think they qualify for something that they don't. But so then what happens is she gets with somebody that she actually qualifies for, and she resents him for not being more. But she didn't settle. She just accepting all that she's fucking worth. That dude matches her. He belongs there. He belongs with you, ladies. You didn't settle for him. Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? What kind of how high of a test score do you think you got in life? You got what you got what you qualified for. But somehow you think you settled for him because you think that you deserve more. Nobody deserves anything. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate, right? You get what you qualify for. So in my personal opinion, there's no such thing as people settling for people. If you can get a job that will pay you $100,000 and you turn it down to take a $50,000 job doing the same thing, then you settled. Who does that? Well, I can get $100,000 for digging this ditch, but this guy's gonna pay me $50,000 for digging the same ditch. I'm gonna take the $50,000. Nobody does that. In a relationship, I'm qualified for this man, but I'm gonna take this man just because. No woman does that. She's going to take what she qualifies for. The problem is when she qualifies for this guy, she thinks that she can get that guy. And oftentimes, and this is where men, now me and Trev, we had differences on the last one, but this is where I agree. I think I agree with Trev on this. The problem is dudes just smashing women, fucking women that they know they're not going to be with. And she has now an elevated sense of worth.
That's it right there. Yep.
She seems to think
inflated.
She seems to think because she can fuck B. Madden, she qualifies for B. Madden.
It's the big joints that's the worst too. They're the worst with that.
She thinks that she can fuck Mark. She thinks she can get the bras. She qualifies for the bras. She don't qualify for the bras. She qualifies for them, that other frat.
I thought you was about to say Alpha. You keep that shit.
Some other dudes.
Iotas. She go with them iotas.
I'm just saying she don't qualify for the.
Like he was pointing up.
Mike, you weren't slick either. Talking about the big joints. You weren't slick on that, Mike.
No.
You weren't slick.
The Qs, they'll do their thing. They'll rubber down. But she don't qualify for them long term. But because the Qs is nasty, nasty dogs. And they took her to Pound Town. She thinks that that's what she deserves, and unfortunately, that's just not the case. So, in my personal opinion, I think nobody really settles for anybody. They go for they typically get what they want. They just find themselves resenting the person that they got for not having more, but that's all that they fucking are supposed to have.
Yeah,
and so they get upset, and it causes issues in a relationship and whatnot. But you get what you get what you test for. You don't treat it like a cop. I think I should go to MIT. I think I should go to Yale. My SATs and my GPA says I'm supposed to go to community college. I'm only supposed to go to state, but I think I deserve to go to Yale because I got some friends that go to Yale. And the Yale people like to party with me. And the boys at Yale like to fuck with me. This is women math. The boys at Yale like to fuck on me. The boys at Yale, they compliment me. So I think I should go to school with them too. But my SAT scores and my GPA says I'm supposed to go to community college. So I'ma just settle for community college. Did you really settle for community college? Since that's all you qualified to go to, you didn't settle for community college. You wasn't you couldn't.
That's
go.
your lane. That's your lane.
That's your lane. Thank you, B. Madden. Giving me the verbiage. That's your lane.
I got you 1911. I got you.
So
let me clarify what I meant by the big joints are the worst. What I meant was I said that on a show a few days ago. I said one of the worst thing that I've done to contribute to this problem is, you know how those girls that maybe like when we were in college, we called them really thick. We called them super thick, dumb thick, but they were really just borderline big girls. Like, you see what I'm saying? They were, ass spilling out but they were borderline big girls. And the craziest part is that when we really honest with ourselves as black men, when it comes to bedroom fun, that's crazy. Like, unleash that shit out. So we start to develop a little bit of a fetish.
That's
and
a
not
fetish,
only that,
yeah.
you put straight up Pornhub moves on each other. Like, yo, look at the, you going crazy on that.
Straight
and the worst
thickums.
part is that you thinking you doing that with her, y'all develop a little, relationship outside of whatever else you got going on. And now she thinks she qualifies for public affection and, hey, let's go out here. And you like, whoa, like, nah. We can do what we do. But the big joint, that's why I said they the worst with that. When you start smashing them and you only wanted them for that purpose.
And don't forget, they cook up a mean meal too, right, Mike?
Right? Look. They the worst. Yeah.
Got him.
Yo. But anybody else? Because now I'm in city. I'm having flashback.
I got it.
Mike had a flashback, y'all. Don't mind him.
So I gotta ask
I got a little something for this.
Let me ask this real quick.
You want to go, Luis? Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just ask this real quick. What Shannon said was spot on, right? But you got to understand that,
Louis, you don't qualify. You don't qualify to talk because your mic is fucked up.
My mic is fucked up. I've been trying to fix
it's good now, but goddamn, I was like,
is it better now?
Yeah, now you qualify. Yeah. Now you
okay.
In a conversation with us and shit. At first, we got to send you to community college to have your solution.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm a transfer. Yeah, I think what Shannon said was spot on. I think that the social media revolution has really, really created this sort of monster that can no longer be put back into its jar, right?
You want to bet?
And I'm almost wondering
conflated. Everything's conflated.
Yeah, everything's conflated. So I'm almost wondering, if we, how should I say this? I'm almost wondering if we remove the aspect of women trying to have experiences, getting flown out, having all these, great experiences, access to certain men at a young age, right? That kind of create this huge bubble, right? Because once they've already gone through that experience, some of them don't really self-improve. Some people just don't self-improve in other things other than the monetary gain that they receive, the attention, the getting flown out, the dinners, the gifts, etc. Right? And sort of that is what's probably become the issue. It's like sort of the free, sort of frivolous dating that happens, and you get all these experiences, and then once you start to find somebody serious, they don't give you all those other experiences that you got in your early 20s, mid 20s, you know what I'm saying? Possibly maybe late 20s or whatever. Now you're in your 30s, you know what I'm saying? And you want all those butterfly feelings that you were getting back in your 20s, but you're not getting that from the guys that are in and around your proximity because they're just not that guy. You know what I'm saying? They're just not giving you that experience, but you're on cloud 9 thinking that you deserve that, not understanding that was probably a one ticket ride on that roller coaster that you probably didn't capitalize on. And now the ship has sailed. It's left the station, and the lights are slowly coming on. The music is slowly fading in the background, and all the people around are typically the people you either went to school with in and around your neighborhood, probably work within your profession. You probably have a work relationship, and that's probably it. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get all those granular experiences that you had to relive them in your present moment, and it's not going well for you. So I think that probably, you know, experiencing all that up front probably might set them up for failure down the road for more permanent, long relationships.
Yeah, so like
Luis,
with that,
the term is flued out. Just FYI, it's flued out.
dude, yeah.
And
That's what they call it now.
it's
So
getting flued out.
with the reason a lot of this is happening is like you know, Shan, I know Lewis, you made a point about value earlier. I know women's perceived value is completely different than what it actually is, right? In most cases. And that's the biggest mistake they make, is because women support other women if they say they're a 10, right? They'll say, oh, yeah. You know, that's the problem. We don't do that to each other. We police each other. We check each other. If we're doing something that's messed up or we ain't it, if we suck at something, we'll talk to each other as men about that. Women generally don't do that. They'll talk to their other girlfriends about her when she get up and go to the bathroom. But then when she come back, they ain't got nothing really to tell her. They're going to just tell her everything good. So they don't help each other improve, and they don't respect what men say half the damn time. They think that we crazy. So how can they really improve if they can never, ever really get some sound advice? So their entire perception of themselves is skewed from reality. It's not the same. They don't have any idea of where they actually stand. And like we were pointing to earlier, we further reinforce that by, you know, dating these women. You know what I mean? Because dudes get creative, right? Like, we know we do it, right? Like, we'll get a chick. It'll be a chubby joint or just somebody that ain't right because it's just on some humbug. You hit like, dang, you know what, man? Let me just hit this joint up. After you like 3 chicks down on the list, you like, man, I'll hit this joint up. Whatever. We hit it up, and the game looks the same, right? We don't normally. Some dudes got it like that, but if you ain't got it like that, you really tell a chick, like, yeah, nah, we good. You'll push up on a chick the same way. The game looks the same. We don't just say, yo, I'm trying to hit and I'm gonna be out. Like, no, it's the same game. We would kind of court the woman the same. We would act like we liked them, talk them up, gas them up, and everything. And then when we hit, it's different. So females can't even distinguish what a man wants out of them, because a lot of times we're not even straightforward with what it is that we want, because unless you were that guy like we referred to before, you can't get that. They're going to try to get something out of you. So we run that game, hit them off, and then there we end up. But one point that I certainly wanted to focus on real bad, right, is don't chase women, right? If you have a woman who feels like she is settling for you, she is going to make your life a living hell. She is not going to respect you. That is going to cause destruction in your life. I don't know if y'all ever dealt with that, but if I know a lot of people who have dealt with women who don't respect them, she's going to talk to you any kind of way. She's going to do things to hurt you on purpose. They hate your existence. They hate the idea that they ended up with you because they feel like they could have done better, and you are in the way of them doing better. The more intertwined your lives become, the more trapped she feels being with you, and the more she will have resentment for you, and the more vindictive she will become, and the worse she's going to treat you. So it's not worth it. You have to pay attention to the signs from early. A woman has to show a high level of interest, right? There are 3 levels to it. Women have low interest. Some have medium interest. Some have high interest. If they have high interest, they are initiating things. They are doing, like we talked about earlier, becoming a helpmeet. They are finding ways to make your life easier. If a woman has a mid-level of interest, sometimes you can work that into a high level of interest. And I wouldn't even suggest that, but you can do that. That's optional if you want to put in that type of work, because they have the potential to gain a higher level of interest in you, right? But if they have a low level of interest, they really feel like they can do better, and they're always looking past you. Them looking past you is going to be a problem. That's going to cause infidelity. That's going to cause her to not pay you any mind when you want her to. It's just going to be a disaster. Do not chase women who don't like you. If she don't like you, do not try to win her over. Do not try to win women over. Go for women who like you. And if you are not getting the women that you want to like you, then you must improve. Simple as that. Because that would mean you then don't qualify for. Do not fall into that trap of a woman who does not have respect and does not feel like you are better, at least more better off than she is. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, Trev stole everything that I wanted to say, man. Because so when we had this conversation last week, it was me, Shan, and Rashawn Ali, and I was this like what that lady said, Shan. That's what I was trying to describe. Although we may feel like it's not settling, in her mind, that shit is 100% settling. You can't convince her that she didn't settle, and the way she responds and behaves and acts towards you, everything Trev said is what's occurring. And so when we talk about broken relationships and things like that, no matter how we want to perceive it, when the relationship ends, if you look through the track record of that relationship and she was acting in the ways Trev was describing, that's because she felt like she settled. Whether like there's reality, perception, the truth, her truth, my truth, and her truth, she feel like you cannot convince her she didn't settle. I've heard women say, I have a list of all the things I want. And that only matters if I don't like you. She settled. If I don't want to be with you, but if I gotta be with you, it's because you provide money, because I got to deal with this, the way you behave as a man. I don't even think that's manly. I don't want to be with you, but the sex is trash. But if you make sure we take 5 vacations a year to the best places I've ever been, then I'll deal with it. That's a consolation prize. And if you're in a relationship with somebody consolation prize dating you, it's because they feel like they settled. I 100% believe they feel like they settled. You say what?
I've said that shit before, man. Yo, like the crazy thing about it is women have this list and all this like requirement. All that bullshit goes right out the fucking window the moment the dude that they want is there. Those things that they say, well, I won't settle for this or I won't settle, that's all bullshit. The dude that she likes walks through the door, she'll be fine to go on the Cheesecake Factory or IHOP. Don't even matter. That list is only there for the dudes that they don't like. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. That shit is only for the dudes that they don't like. Because the dude that they like, it's a wrap. Like there's nothing else to say.
Yo, y'all hit the nail on the head with that one though. Any chick like that, this whole thing, I got out the game years ago. So I'm wondering, it's like, are women really that different than hearing you say that? I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. I don't even remember asking women where they wanted to go on dates. I'm going here. I'm trying to go here. You trying to come through or what? Hey, I'm about to go have drinks. Some of the homies might be there. It'd be cool if you come along. Like, never has a chick dictated to me where she wanted to go. Like, that must be a new development. Because when a woman really, like, they follow you around like a puppy dog. They just want to sit in the car. They want to be around you, with you and your boy. Like, that's really the best advice I think is few OGs gave me, because a lot of dudes are trying to be around the woman they like, not the woman that like them. I learned to appreciate a woman is willing to do that got some deference from me as a man. You can't be out here chasing women. That's how you end up with this fucking Cheesecake Factory and this, Filipina chick talking greasy in the video. Yo, man. I mean, when you really look at it, man, it's all men's fault. We cause this bullshit, man. I gotta tighten up.
Well, I'll say it's 2 parts to it. One, social media is so different than it was when you first got with your wife than it is today. when you're dating your wife to this today. People are so much more accessible. You know, there's more out of town dating than ever before. There's more long distance dating than ever before. You can access somebody in Paris right now. You can access somebody in Toronto. You can access somebody in New York or wherever, LA, Miami, whatever, and just get flued out, get on the yacht, get on the boat, you know, eat it, Nobu, whatever. Someone splurge a little money on you, and that's it. And I think what's making it worse is you have the women are looking at what other women are getting. They're looking at what other women are experiencing, and they see them, you know, shaking their ass on the yacht. They see them in Barbados or in the Maldives. They see them at this new exclusive Michelin star restaurant that, you know, is extremely expensive, that's on the other side of the world that most niggas ain't about to fly you out to do or to experience. And what's worse is that it's happening in their, you know, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And it's usually older guys is doing it, or it's guys that have fast money, entertainers, athletes, rappers, all that. Or your scammers, D-boys, what have you. And they're just blowing money fast. And it's an unfair view of reality, because it's not reality. It's some people's reality. It's a small percentage of people's reality. And it's a reality for a time. But kind of like what Luis was saying, when those young ladies hit their upper 20s, later 20s, early 30s, the same thing ain't happening no more. Those are the women that are having the hardest time settling down and deciding who they want to be with, because they've already experienced all that. And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to find another version of that same kind of guy, but older. And they're having difficulty because those guys are dating the next batch of younger women. She aged out. Now she has to go back to her old classmates. She has to go back to the guy she went to school with that I was hollering at her at 19, 20, 21.
And I don't want to be mad.
She wasn't giving, but she wasn't giving them the time of day. You know,
there's a rap now.
She was getting flued out.
I know. They hit me. I got all the hey big head texts.
Right.
I get all the hey big head texts. Be mad, but I don't want to.
Right. And now, and we ain't even talked about days cuffing season right now. It's winter. It's getting cold out. You know, people getting a little chilly. You know, and hey, if you ain't got you a big boy secure by now, you ain't got you a dude secure by now, it's gonna be a cold winter. That's all I'm gonna say.
You say if you got a big boy secure by now.
Hey, I got
it's already November. Daylight savings time is already ended.
Yeah, daylight exactly. It's too late. Halloween is ended. You know, the trick is on you. The trick's on you. So
schedule full.
No.
Yeah, all jokes aside, though. So when I be talking about power dynamics within a relationship, this is specifically what I'm speaking to. Where I'm like, bro, you really just was trying to date somebody that didn't want you, and that's how that relationship played out. Because I talked about this before when I'm saying women can be in a relationship where they look up to and admire the man, but if the man is in the reverse, looking up to and admiring the woman where she is on a pedestal, that will never work. It's like biology. I've never seen that relationship work where she's happy and he's happy. Like it only works in the reverse.
My nigga, are you using some kind of graphic right now? Am I the only one seeing this?
What?
You moving in slow mo, but you talk. Your voice is coming through clear.
Am I still moving slow?
I'm not seeing it. He looks normal to me.
Oh, okay. It's my computer then. I'm like, dude, what kind of OBS graphics you got? All right.
Yeah. I just got the
But I will say too, all this crap about this list and Cheesecake Factory and all that kind of stuff. I just got mad DMs over here talking about, hey, you know, that damn what they said, that Caesar salad is hitting the cheesecake. You know, hey, you can take me if you want to. oh, they got bomb ass pasta and bread and this and
Man,
that. I'm like, see, there it is. Like,
listen, this is funny.
it's
This is funny
not
because
about the list. It's about who's taking your ass. It's about
listen,
who
man,
she's with. So it's
don't
about.
yeah, and never let anybody tell you this stuff that we do on YouTube or it never let anybody tell you it doesn't work. It does work because women never had all they did was Avengers Assemble around us listening or somebody simps most likely listening to what the hell they had to say because now they know what men are not going to put up with, what the men who have the results and the men like us, like what we actually expect from them. They do listen the same way they talk about we don't cook, we don't need to cook. Then all of a sudden, like if you don't cook, we not choosing you. Now every terrorist you know on Instagram got videos, little boomerang videos of her cooking at least twice a week. They listen to what the hell we say.
Not the terrorists. Not the terrorists.
Every last
not
one
the Twitter
of them.
fingers. Not the Twitter fingers.
You know the thing they just be holding
gangsters.
the plate. Look what I made. Look what I made. We did that shit. I'm not mincing words. We did all of that by letting them know what the hell we would and would not put up with. Coincidentally, right after the cheesecake thing, I seen some of the women who have said the craziest shit ever talk about what's wrong with cheesecake. Not because their spots blown. Their spots blown. The world can see, how unrealistic their expectations are. So now all of a sudden they throwing that woman under the bus. Like, what's wrong with cheesecake? You know how many things are on that menu? And then when women saying that, I was like, oh no, because you one of them ones. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. All we got to do is keep letting them know how ridiculous their demands are, and really not even caring what their demands really are. And the ball will be back in our court.
You want to know one of my toxic traits, man? It's whatever your do's and don'ts is, I feel like you should break them for me. So if you give me the list, I just feel like you should break that list for me. I know that's toxic as fuck, but I really be feeling like, man, what's the list? All right, let's break this shit just so you can see. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Marcus, you wanted something because I love hearing when they say, I normally don't be doing this, but
yeah.
I don't usually.
I ain't never done this before, or like, whatever, like, I guess I'll let you do it because I don't let nobody ever. Okay, yeah, all right.
When they say that,
there's another one off the list.
I was gonna say if it's sex, then they lying. If they gotta say that, they
the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
All right, let me get this super chat. Lord Giatron, $2 says, no truer words ever been spoken. That might have been Shan, Luis. No, that was when Luis went off on Shorty for the video. More likely. He was like, I got this, because this chick tripping. All right, y'all, man.
Do y'all appreciate her being like that though? Like putting that message out there, what she said?
I already knew that.
Yeah, it's good for people who didn't know to get to see it. But the general public doesn't. I'll be honest with you. It's good for everyone to see it because not everybody knows. So, we out here giving game, right? So it's different. Now, there's a lot of people who need that information that don't know yet, and it shows every single day when we start to look and watch these dudes simping up like crazy. You think I would ever be in a position with any of them stupid broads that with the Cheesecake Factory or the 48 Oyster Lady? That would never happen to me because I wouldn't put myself in that position, and probably none of y'all on the panel either. But it happens to people every day. I know dudes who go on dates and then a chick bring their girlfriend and then I both going home with you. That's a no-go. Stop playing with me. But it happens. Females violate on a regular basis to men that they know they can. You know what I mean? Once they feel like you starting to lean and they're like, oh, he really feeling me. That's a turnoff, and they're just going to exploit you at that point.
Mm-hmm. No, they definitely.
What do you think are some of the signs that they see that make them feel like that they can do that?
Well, they can tell. Women can tell who get what, right? So if they feel like you not used to dealing with a chick like her, then they feel like you are not qualified for a chick like her, and I'm not going to be the first one to give you a shot. In most cases, that's how they feel. They can tell your energy when you start appreciating them just a little bit too much, or if you seem like you're awkward, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to be around, you're not comfortable, you're not confident. Women are extremely attracted to confidence, competence. Like you don't have that, it's a wrap. They could smell it a mile away. Just like we could look on here and see who don't get it, who like, oh, get the fuck out of here. He's a liar. You know what I mean? They can tell who don't get it. And if you don't get it, they're not attracted to you. You will repel women really easily when you start pouring it on and telling them how beautiful they are, all crazy. It's not bad to give them a simple compliment, but when you just all over it and they can tell you don't really be around nothing like that, it's a wrap.
Oh yeah,
a lot of women
Oh,
will
yeah.
shit. A lot of women will shit test you too. If they're not quite sure, they'll start shit testing you. They'll just say random shit out the side of their neck just to see how you react. They want to see if you rattle or not. They want to see, how strong you are and who you are, your frame and your confidence. Um, they'll just say some off the wall shit just to see what you're gonna do, or they'll ask a crazy demand just to see if you're gonna oblige. Are you gonna do whatever she asks you to do or what she says? I mean, it's they'll do quite a few different things just to fuck with you, just to see are you that dude or are you just like every other nigga that she can get? Is this gonna be a piece of cake or is she gonna have to work to get your attention and to get your energy? That's what she's trying to determine. And again, a lot of that happens like in person. Like she could just feel you out. She's just talking to you, just seeing how you move, your presence, all those things. And then also your persona has something to do with it too, like your public facing stuff, like your LinkedIn or your social media, whatever. They want to see how you move as well too. A lot of times when chicks do that, I want to go to a super expensive place and this and that. It's not that they just have to have that. They just want to know, like, basically the question is they don't know where your money stands. They don't know what kind of dude you are when it comes financially. So they'll ask for something crazy and just to see if you're obliged to it. And two, they just don't know if you can afford it or not. So they just want to see if if you're really generous with your money per se.
Yeah, my uncle was telling me about a woman he was dating that divorced her husband. And the reason she did, it blew his mind. And I understood why. He didn't understand at the time. He was saying she told him he would come home, give her his whole check, and do everything she said. Whatever she asked, he would do. And he was like, that's the best dude she could ever get. I'm like, nah, bro. I mean, that's not gonna work. Like you think you're doing the right thing, you think you're doing best by the woman, but to her, you probably coming off extremely feminine and she not attracted to none of that shit. It's weird how we might appreciate that and they don't. Like, we really different. Like, the way we biologically set up is really different. And when we was talking about men's desire to meet and to obtain other women, that you said it earlier that the men who can do that usually attract more women. It's weird how that's set up for us, and it's just not the same way for them. Yeah.
Word. Goddamn, y'all. This has been a good one. We about to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for sending super chats through. This has been another epic Think Talk, King Talk. Appreciate everybody. Trev Smooth, Luis, Marcus, B. Madden, Shannon Rawls, and Hink. We out of here, y'all. Take it down for the night. All right, y'all. Catch y'all next time. We out.
You guys take care.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.